Eagle in front, but Eagles can go around and raid. Yeah, exactly. That's the issue, right? All right, we got to move on to our main event here. So they've already drafted, but let me quickly. Okay, we get a hyper random by Pl0tter. We like to see that. It's actually a pretty good draft. Serengeti is one I actually don't see that often, surprisingly. But no shoals, Maxi, not down with the water. We know this, right? So it is what it is. Which CA civs should be picked? Well, we'll see what's banned out, and then we can go from there. Where are we? There we go. This is the other way around, though. I have to switch these. Wait. Yeah, okay, yeah, I do need to switch these. That's Pl0tterGh0st, this is Maxi. Like so. Alright. Magyars were banned out by the admins. Very sad for Maxi. And nothing else though, right? I guess Huns are a CA civ. Kind of. No way. I suppose make Otter happy here. Pl0tter bans out the Vietnamese, the Mongols, Saracens, and Byzantines. Okay, I've seen Maxi play CA with all of those civs. Saracens and Byzantines not necessarily known for it, but you know, it's fine. Okay, they're still in the lobby as well, so that's perfect. We're not so far behind. So we still have Tatars, Berbers, okay. Berbers, Ethiopians as the first two Maxi picks, interesting. Chinese and Persians. Chinese, there's no water maps, right? I guess Akure technically, and maybe hyper random. I'm a little surprised to see the Chinese picked that high for the map pool. Yeah, my top. They always, whenever, you know, I get my scoreboard ready before the stream, so I have to guess at which side they're going to be on. It's always the wrong side. It's always the wrong side. Pl0tter banning Vietnamese. War crime, yep. Very sad. Maxi does get the Berbers, which is great. The Cumans are... They really don't have good Cav archers, but I guess they're a Cav archer civ. Letting Maxi get the Tatars' fourth pick is nice. Ooh, Japanese. Great counter pick by Pl0tter. Absolutely great counter pick by Pl0tter with the Japanese. Amazing. Yeah, I guess Ethiopian CA. I don't know. I think Maxi chose the Ethiopians last time I watched him too. I can't remember exactly. I don't know why They don't get the faster firing, right? That's strictly their archer line. Kitans. Kitans technically do. Has nobody picked the Jurchens yet, by the way? I'm not missing them, right? Nobody has picked the Jurchens? That seems crazy. Teutons, or yeah. I mean, Pl0tter's draft is very good. Bulgarians. Alright. Snipe the Berbers for Pl0tter, and I think you snipe Persians? You might snipe the Japanese if you're Maxi, to be honest, that they can't dunk on you with their own cav archers. That might be an actual play here. I'm astounded that Maxi did not pick the Jurchens. Cuman snipe and Chinese snipe. Okay, interesting. I definitely would not have banned the Chinese here. Cumans, I mean, if you're worried about like the early rush, then that's fine. I think banning the Cumans is always valid if you know yourself and know that you can't deal with that. So that's fine, I guess. No Jurchens and no Georgians for Maxi. Instead going Ethiopians, Kitans, Malians, and Bulgarians. Alright. Teutons is the worst ever pick versus Maxi. Why is that? Like, it should be good against cav archers, no? I mean, I guess they aren't mobile, so it depends on the map. Lots of CA still scarier than Berber. Well, yeah, you're not sniping the Ethiopians, right? Alright, let's get into Serengeti. We're a little bit behind, so I don't want to waffle too long. And Teutons die versus CA civs? How can that possibly be true? That doesn't make any sense to me, but I do believe you. I feel like they should have... Alright, I gotta switch my capture age back around. I feel like Teutons should be able to deal with CA pretty decently, but just the speed is bad, I guess. We want to see battle elephants? True, Dravidians would have gone so hard here. Alright. Let's jump into game one. Serengeti. Welcome in game one. Pl0tterGh0st versus maxymczech here. On Serengeti, we've got the Slavs for Pl0tter, and Maxi leads with the Bulgarians. Okay. So it's going to be cav archers for Maxi. We know this. Bulgarian cav archers, they missed the last armor, but otherwise they're fine. Many people tell me the last armor is unimportant, so I suppose the Bulgarian cav archers should be very good. Slavs here for Pl0tterGh0st. Opening up with some Cavalier. Slav Cavalier, okay. But Siege Workshop's coming down as well as a castle. And neither opening Hussar, finding any eco damage, just chasing each other around. So let's see. Extra town centers. Placed down early here for Pl0tter, getting control over these golds around the base. Does have to be careful though, there are villagers in the danger zone. Maxi is not able to snipe them down. Castle at the front will complete. So at least these villagers should be safe. Maxi does snipe a villager on this TC, maybe? No. Survives. Actually just ran out of range, sorry, of the Cav Archer. Cav Archer forgot she was there, I suppose. And now we do have the Boyar mixed in. Maxi kind of filtering in a few too many Cav Archers here. Straight into the maw of Pl0tter's army. But maybe we can find some Vil snipes here finally. 1 at least. Okay, there we go. 2. Okay, all right. There's some damage. That's the damage we needed to see here from Maxi. That is now 6 villagers killed by Maxi, as another, at least 1 went down here. Is that enough damage? We'll see. Conic versus Boyar is an interesting clash of unique units. I think the Boyar should just destroy, right? But it's still mostly Cavalier for Pl0tter. Full Cavalier with the Slavs is fine, but not amazing. It's not an amazing unit for DM, I don't think. Castle completes for Maxi at just the right moment as the Cavalier do arrive. They could one-tap that TC Foundation if Pl0tter was able to notice that, but they're just going to run through. There are already Krepos, of course, in the back, so those Cavalier are not going to find too much damage. And you know what? It's not looking too bad here for Maxi. We've got a Petard. He's leading the charge of the siege here. I guess that makes sense. The Petard is a siege unit, right? And is also a person, so should probably be smarter than these automaton scorpions that don't seem to have any people with them. Cavalier going up to the north, trying to get a flank on, but I like the castle positionings by Maxi. This one covers a lot of resources over here. PC completes as well. Maxi actually mixing in SO and Conics. What is this the diversity of military composition for Maxi? I don't know if I've ever seen it before. He actually has more Conics than Cav Archers. Is heavily housed, by the way. Extremely heavily housed. So we got to get these houses down. Which is slowly happening. I think maybe more than 1 villager building houses would be worthwhile for Maxi. Side control, but middle control for Pl0tter coming in. More Cavalier, lots of Scorpions, which should do quite well against, I think, everything that Maxi's making, except for these SO. If they could just get out of the siege workshops, it'd be great. And he's only queued up them out of 1 siege workshop as well, which is a little unfortunate. Conics might be able to get in on the Scorpions, but they are grouped up with the Halb, so they're not moving super fast. Charge up the hill. They are being hit downhill, though. Look, my eyes are... It looks like my frame rate is terrible, but I think the Halbs are just stuttering, right? I don't think it's a frame rate thing. I think the Halbs are just not moving super fluidly. Okay, getting a couple good shots in with the SO. Trade there, but where are the rest of them? They're still kind of hanging back. Some of the Scorpions are still alive, but about half of them did go down, I think. Maxi tryhard sometimes? Okay. Good to know. I don't think I've seen that yet. But it's pretty good right now, to be honest. I didn't think about... That's a great snipe on that castle as well. This 1 trebuchet, just 1-tapped it. I didn't think about this Civ matchup. It should be way better for the Slavs if this was played out regularly, though, right? I guess maybe not. The Cav Archers are unironically putting in really good work here for Maxi. And the military is kind of drying up for Pl0tter. Only 30 military units on the field right now. Still some Scorpions. There's not a lot, though. Maxi is severely behind economically. Got all those eco kills, but was much later to any town centers, and still only has 3, I think. Cav Archers, they're on the hill, but they're taking big damage from the siege. That's a great SO shot. And we might actually have a longer Maxi game. from what I have seen, usually, maxi games usually go about 15 minutes, maybe 20. But we might have to settle into a bit of a longer one. I don't love the macro behind if this is going to turn into a long game for maxi. We're already at 100 villagers as Pl0tter, 99 I should say. Just got over 50 did maxi, but does have a 4th town center over here, I suppose. Also thinking about relics as maxi. wood game dream incoming. It could happen. Imagine a maxi wood game. How hyped that would be. Has maxi ever played a wood game before in a 1v1? Probably in like community games and whatnot, right? But hard for me to imagine a maxi wood game in 1v1s. Boyar. They're tough to deal with, man. They are really tough to deal with. The Conics barely tickle them. The Cav Archers honestly do not do that much damage. They are firing uphill for this fight. But multiple volleys to take out each Boyar. Still, Pl0tter maybe getting a little too aggro here. The Trebuchets have arrived, but there's not much military in front of them anymore. The Scorpions are great. But Conics take quite a few bolts to go down, and then they stand up again, right? So they soak a lot of damage. Cav Archers actually do decent damage to Scorpions as long as they aren't getting hit on the back end. Treb's up on this hill. This hill is massively important for this game, but right, both players recognize how important this hill is. They really want to stick up on there with their siege, sometimes to the detriment of the siege. Trebs are taking damage, but they take out that castle. Pl0tter goes for another one. There's still plenty of resources on both sides. Lots of stone for both players. Quite a bit of gold left, though maxi is chewing through that, with more Cav Archers being queued up. Trebs go forward. They do not care. They probably should care. This one SO is going to take out 2 and maybe all 3. Yes, indeed. But, again, 19 halves and a smattering of Scorpions somewhere on the field is all that Pl0tter has militarily. Trebs can roll forward. They're still sitting on this hill. Can start trebbing down that castle. They are on fire. And there's nothing in front of the Cav Archers anymore to soak these Scorpion bolts. There should be pretty good damage here from the Scorpions. Conics arrive. Scorpions are dying. Pl0tter's out of food. And wood. The eco's good behind this, but there's just not a lot in the bank. That's going to be another castle down to maxi's Trebs. I think maxi has this one. One relic is all that's been collected on either side. But this positioning is crazy. He's killed 2 castles. Production buildings going down. There are castles behind, so Pl0tter's not dead by any means. But needs to figure out a way to break this army composition from maxi, which he really has not been able to find the right units yet. I think you just need more SO, probably, right? I like the Scorpions, but I think SO is better now, especially with the Onagers from maxi already mixed in. I don't think you can keep going Scorpion here. Pl0tter does recognize that, queues up the Siege Onagers now. Maxi's going to claim this hill long-term with a castle. That's wood control for the wood game. That's really good wood control for the wood game that's about to happen. Maxi loses the trebuchets a little bit too far out in front of the military. That's tough. That delays this push hugely because maxi does not have any more trebs on the field. This farming eco is... Why are we farming here instead of, like, here, right? Feels like this is just infinitely safer. But, alright, maxi does not find that. Instead is going to sit on... I don't think he can see these farms. I think that's a capture H bug. He's going to sit on the ore out here instead. as Pl0tter is going to roll in with a pretty impressive force here. He's got the Slav champions with, not Teteneth, what is it, Druzhina. So in a fight, these champions do very well, should roll the Conics on the ground at least. And also, they're going to roll all the SO that arrives for Maxi right as he evacuates the area with his military. He does roll in with the Conics and snipes at least 2 trebs. Should be 3, if he's able to pay attention to that. Castle is falling on the hill. And he's not able to pay attention to that, so only 2 trebs went down to that. Round 2, Conics looking for siege onagers this time. The Scorpions do help out in these situations. And only 1 SO fell. Castle does go down for Maxi, who is now out of stone. He's out of gold. Does Maxi not have gold left to take? There is gold here if he can see that, but that's very hard to see on the map. There's gold here as well. It's tough sometimes on the desert minimap, right, to actually be able to see all those gold piles. But there are some available to him. Pl0tter's going to retake this hill in the middle. Yeah, that farming eco was not going to be long-lasting. It just was not. Alright. I'm getting a little worried for Maxi, but Pl0tter's pushed back again. The Conics arrive for the last time unless Maxi finds another gold pile to take. They snipe down most of the Scorpions. Still quite a few SO behind this, and the Trebuchets are still safe for Pl0tter. Quite a bit of... Okay, I think this was maybe a gold pile that Maxi once had, or stone. Those vills are just chilling. We really got to find some gold, Maxi. He's heavy on stone. I mean, he should be able to see like this, right? And probably that on the mini-map. Boyar, looking to be a hero. Does not quite get the SO. All right. Okay. Well... Not the position I expected to be in this game, 28.5 minutes into the game, but here we are, Maxi with 150 villagers, Pl0tter at 130. Both players are thinking about relics now. Maxi did claim a second relic. These villagers are indeed coming up here for this gold. Okay, so Maxi was able to breathe for a moment. Probably should not be queuing more villagers here. That's going to really bring us from the verge of overboom territory smack dab into it if those villagers come out. Maxi usually probably does not have to worry about being overboomed realistically. Selling wood, selling stone. Selling wood's gonna hurt in another hour and a half when all the wood is gone. Just wait. You just wait. Another double forward castle kind of for Pl0tter. Again, really just wants this hill, man. Conics do roll in. The Halbs aren't in position, and it's kind of a traffic jam. They're trying to get in on the Conics, but simply cannot. Scorpions end up killing them all eventually anyway. Cav Archers also do not find a very good engagement. So the castle will go up. Who's winning? Who's winning this game right now? I think now that the siege composition is a little bit more mixed for Pl0tter, it should be better for the Slavs over the Bulgarians just from a unit composition standpoint, I think. But maybe not. Depends on how good Maxi is with these SO. Those are good opening volleys on the Halb. But here come the Trebs for Pl0tter. He's looking to snipe some castles. I don't know if he's going to be able to, though. A lot of the Halb died, so there's not too much out in front of these Trebs anymore. SO trading at the top while the Conics dive on the Trebs. Those are good shots on the Conics, though. All the SO go down basically on both sides. Pl0tter briefly has to abandon that foundation, but comes back again for another one. And castle will fall for Maxi behind. He's getting ram pushed in the south. Making stables in the back of his base now. Pl0tter is able to expand out here, though. I think Pl0tter might have done it. 163 villagers for Maxi is not going to help to push this back in any way, unfortunately. He only has space for 30-odd military units on the field. Trebs roll up north now. This is the only place Maxi is taking gold. Still has a fair group of cav archers, but it's so tough if you just wade in with so many halb, right? You can kind of overwhelm the cav archers without micro. So then Maxi's, again, this is why cav archer is maybe not the best unit in these sorts of games. I hate to say it, but you're having to micro, you know, dance around with the cav archers. Meanwhile, the Trebs are just ripping through your buildings. Maxi has to replace the castle with a Krepost. He's got his own ram now. Maybe he can actually stop this push over here, but in the meantime, things are going real bad in the south. The castle fell to the rams. Pl0tter's coming in with a castle. This is actually good for Maxi to lose these villagers, though, unironically. He needed to lose these villagers, so a little bit of a favor there by Pl0tter. Might end up losing more villagers than he wants to down here, but we'll have to see where the numbers land. Castle here. This is another gold. I don't think Maxi realizes either of these gold piles are here, unfortunately. I probably would never, although he did place a stable here, so he should have been able to see it. But I can't see that gold on the... There we go. All right, I was going to say, I can't see this one on the mini-map at all. But he does find it. That's necessary, but Maxi has lost like 40 villagers to this. Down to 120. It's going to give him a big surge on military population, but I don't know if he has the resources to really field that much of a military anymore. Here are the best unit from late mid-game on if you can micro them. Well, right. That's a very big if, though, right? I don't know, like, I don't know if there are very many players in the world that can micro CA without it impacting other aspects of their game in these sorts of fights. So it becomes a question of trade-off, right? Are you getting more from the CA than you're losing by constantly having to back up with them and micro them and all that kind of stuff? Castle going down in the north to a lone trebuchet. Maxi down to 86 villagers. Is really low. Doesn't have any siege on the field really to push back any of these positions either, so I think it's going to be tough. One siege ram comes in. I think it's hitting uphill here as well. The castle might actually win this. Certainly will win it with the Boyar coming over. Really good awareness by Pl0tterGh0st. To be Treb pushing here, having this big fight in the middle and still notice these rams coming in the south is really good ability. Let's go Pl0tter. All right, we got a Pl0tter fan in Huggy. Late game. Oh yeah, once the siege dies out, cav archers are much easier to micro. But still, right? You can't just let them sit there and take a fight. So I think my issue with cav archers is less so the fights they take and more that they lose ground in order to take fights, right? So even if you're taking a good fight, you have to pull back so much to avoid just getting overrun that you sometimes can lose so much ground it doesn't become a winning position. But cav archers do loop in. They're looking for some damage. Pl0tter even converting here with a monk. Does not get the conversion. Krepos falls for Maxi. Still not much in the way of gold access for our boy. Only 85 villagers, I think. I think this was a really good game from Pl0tter. It was a really good game from Maxi as well. I was incredibly impressed by Maxi in this game. But Pl0tter's done a really good job. I was nervous early on when it was just like the whole army was scorpions. I was a little nervous for Pl0tter, but he got his feet back underneath himself and has turned this around really nicely. I mean, the map control is so good for Pl0tter. He's got castles everywhere. Maxi hits him with the Smurf. Usually that is followed by a GG. Is it going to be this time? It is. GG is called. Pl0tter takes game 1 in a 45-minute game here on Serengeti. All right. Really good game. That was a very enjoyable game. Both, like I said, both players played really, really well. I'm not even quite sure. Besides the overboom in the middle, not sure what Maxi did wrong here necessarily. I mean, it was tough, right? Pl0tter had a huge eco lead really early on, so I'm thinking like needing to spam like Hussar maybe to snipe the siege a little bit more consistently. It was still very expensive units for Maxi in that opening push, but he didn't really have the eco to do that. Yeah, Slavs are just also the better civ here, I think, so it was always going to be a little bit tough for Maxi. All right. Good game 1. Really good game 1. Pl0tter takes that one. Pl0tter takes Serengeti. And the Slavs beat the last overall pick Bulgarians. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting draft, right? When you're up against Maxi, I think a lot of people tend to save some of these civs until later that they usually would pick earlier, just because Maxi's probably not drafting the Slavs. But it's a good draft from Pl0tterGh0st. It is a really good draft. Maxi says, stupid siege, after the resignation came in. Siege, the bane of Maxi's existence. Siege onagers and scorpions. Alright, let's move on to going to be Sunburn. No Cumans here for Maxi, so what are we thinking? We've seen Malians on this map a few times. You'll have to... I still don't know what all civs get Treadmill Crane. Do Tatars and Berbers both get Treadmill Crane? They'd probably... If so, then I wouldn't mind either of them. For Pl0tter, it's probably like Persians. Maybe Celts. Maybe this is a Teuton map also, if you wanted to play the Teutons. But I think this map is deceptively... I think you need mobility on this map. Deceptively so. You start so close together, it's easy to think you don't, but occasionally you do need to switch sides of the wood line, which is sometimes tough if you're playing a slower, pushier civ. Catan CA, says Huggy. Okay. Interesting call, but you probably know him better than I do. Catan CA. Hello, Orico as well. Welcome in. As he should. I just wish Maxi would have drafted the Jurchens. That's all I wish. The Jurchens have good... Right? Jurchens have better CA than the Catans do they not? For DM? Welcome in. Were you here already? Oh, you've been here. I'm sorry. You have the same... At least on my overlay, you have the same color name as Otter, so I might have color blinded your name a few times. That's my bad. That's my mistake. I'm sorry. All right, well, Huggy knows it. Huggy knows Maxi, apparently. Welcome in. We we are here on Sunburn between Maxi and Pl0tterGh0st. It is the Persians for Pl0tterGh0st. At least I got that one right. It is the Catans for Mr. Mczech. Catans... They don't... I guess they regenerate, kind of. Not quite as well as the Georgians, I don't think, but... They don't really get any other bonuses here, right? And I don't even... They do regenerate, right? This is cavalry, but I think it also counts the cav archers, right? Maxi is coming in with those cav archers. He denies the castle, or at least delays it. Did kill one villager in here. Yeah, I don't yeah, it's an interesting build order here for Maxi. Persians are opening Savar, which is a really good unit against cav archers. I was thinking like war elephant shenanigans with the Persians, but actually opening Savar against Maxi makes a ton of sense. Not the Catan pikemen. Oof. Pikemen are going to get obliterated by Savar, man. It's not even going to be close to good. I guess they train faster so you can really spam them out, but I don't know, man. It just is not good. It's really not good. Alright. Let's see. Pl0tterGh0st has equalized the Eco KD here with the Savar. Maxi trying to go for the chicken castle, but it's a little bit late. So he's losing a lot of eco underneath this. And is trying to micro CA at the front. He is killing... I mean, it's still even, right? But you're gonna suffer for microing CA at the front. And here comes 33 Savar, 65 more in queue. Who needs elephants when you've got the Savar? And I think Maxi's just dead. He's got 3 vills. They're all inside this TC, I'm pretty sure. Does deny another castle with those CA, I suppose, but the chicken castle is going to be destroyed here by the Savar. They can probably just nuke out the TC at this point and kill the villagers inside to fully defeat Maxi. Not even sure you need to, I think I would just blitz down the TC here, yeah. Catans are not the way. They're the Catans. And the Catans are not good, unfortunately. Not in DM anyway. Maybe RM. On open maps, they're still quite good, but they get rolled over by the Savar here. Oh no, I don't have an answer to Savar makes pikemen. Yep, I mean, really, what do the Catans have against Savar? They've got, like, substandard camels, I guess. Well, they miss out on bloodlines, but they regenerate. I guess, I don't know how you exactly favor that. But they have, like, they could do that. I mean, I guess technically their pikemen do also reflect damage back on the Savar, but I think the HP difference is just so massive that it doesn't matter, right? They have like triple the HP of a pikeman. So if you're reflecting 25% of 55, that's not very much onto a Savar. Alright. Alright. Well, the Catans don't get it done. To everyone's surprise, Persians do win. Pl0tter up 2-0 early on in this set, and that is a loss on Sunburn. The answer is don't draft Catans. Yeah, probably. Catans. Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at other... The Turks weren't even banned. Right? Like, some of the best Cav archers in the game were still available, and Maxi just did not choose them. Turks were there. Georgians were there. I guess Georgians probably are not as good of a Cav archer civ as the Catans, so... Fair enough, I suppose. That was good draft value. It was. Taking out the Persians and only losing access to the Catans is really good long-term for Maxi. So, we could see a reverse sweep potential here. We're going on to hyper-random next. It should probably be Berbers versus... I don't know. Japanese? Maybe? But let's see what the players are doing. We're still a little bit behind, so let's jump right in. Yeah, Georgian CA do get bloodlines. They miss out on Thumb Ring though, right? So I don't know how I would favor that. Welcome in, Game 3, Pl0tterGh0st versus maxymczech. We are here on Hyper Random. We've got Admiral Yi Sun Shin out on the water, which appears to be a hero turtle ship. And then we have a Step Lancer opener, I guess. Maxi just killed Pl0tter's Step Lancer. It is the Celts for Pl0tterGh0st. It is Celt Paladin, indeed, for Pl0tterGh0st. It is the Malians for Maxi. He loves the Malian Cav archers. I don't know why, but, you know, it's fine. Unironically, really should be going camels here against the Celt Paladin opening. That would rip. But maybe the Cav archers can do alright. So we've got Paladin with no bloodlines or final armor against Cav archers with no bracer or Parthian. Alright. Santa, it is kind of a Santa hero, you're right. You're not wrong. In the red? Absolutely. I'd let that man give me some presents. Just throwing that out there. Why does... Maybe... Can anyone answer why Maxi builds so far away from his TC? So often? Like, he's not even... It's not that he's, like, spreading out or anything. He just, like, super goes far away with all these buildings. It's not even, like, regular too far away from the TC, which would be, like, here, that I see a lot of players do in the lower divisions. It's, like, giga far away. Alright, Cav archers are moving in. I guess they're doing okay against the Paladin, kind of, but Scorpions being mixed in are going to be bad news. He could get some pretty decent Vil snipes here. Denies the TC, denies the castle with the Cav archers. He's going to lose quite a few Cav archers. Maybe not. Actually, not that bad. He only lost one to all of that? Under all these Scorpions and the castle firing is crazy. Okay, big fight. Yi Sun Shin. Mirror. Maxi's not microing. So I guess we'll lose. This is relatively important. This is kind of a strong unit. I don't know if the water is going to matter too much in this fight, but Pl0tter does win. There is regeneration on this Admiral, so he'll get back up to full HP pretty soon. There are camels being mixed in by Maxi now. They should destroy the Celt Paladin. And they do. Farimba camels. Putting in the work. A couple Vils go down for Maxi. Pl0tter also loves to make all the buildings forward against the enemy CA. That's true. I have seen that a couple times too. You're not wrong. Another petard for Pl0tter. This is the second petard we've seen this series already. He made a single petard in game 1 as well. So I don't know if that's like a hotkey issue or what the idea is. Unironically, demos on this Scorpion Mask would be huge. And could be right here. He doesn't get in, Maxi. Doesn't matter. The camels are here. The Geppetto are here. They will rip through all of this siege pretty easily. Ooh, Maxi does lose the castle behind, which is unfortunate. But that's a big army that goes down for Pl0tter. Already pretty much out of gold as well. I don't know about the Rams. I mean, against Maxi with the Cav Archers, maybe you can say that's a good idea, but he's already seen all these camels, right? Woad Raiders. Woad Raiders should be terrible against Geppetto, I think. I mean, once they get in on them, they'll be fine, I guess. So maybe they're fast enough to do damage, but it feels bad. Admiral putting in work around the back. He actually does a pitiful amount of damage to this building. I guess only the cannonball is doing damage, really. So, just turtle ship things. Castle at the front for Pl0tter, though, kind of securing his base long term, which is good. More barracks. Maxi doing the same. I haven't really looked at the map. There are these areas in the top and bottom, which have quite... Oh, I know this map, actually. I think I know this hyper-random. Strange to say. Pl0tterGh0st has identified that there are ores in the top and bottom here. So, he's claiming those resources fairly early. I like the demo mix-in by Maxi, although now that he's taken control over the waterway, maybe he doesn't need that many. Malians just get regular cannon galleon as well. And no shipwright, which kind of sucks. I suppose there's no elite cannon galleon for the Celts either. Bombard cannons almost get nuked. Oh, the Trebs are way too far forward. The demos get taken out. That's a big bada boom, but unfortunately they were not booming anything but themselves. One-man castle versus the two-man castle. But Maxi does have a trebuchet here to start taking on this castle early. And that's a lot of halb. So Maxi kind of, I guess, unironically again, I hate to say this, but the Cav Archers should actually go pretty hard here against the halb, bracer or not. Suddenly, maybe the Rams are worthwhile to have in this composition as well. That's a terrible start to that fight for Maxi. Marimba camels do better than most against halb, but still not... Oh, there's little neutral docks in the corner. I didn't even see that. I won't click these because I'm traumatized from... What tournament was it? Was it a hyper-random tournament that would immediately crash your game if you selected any of those? I can't remember. So I'm not going to select those, but there is a water trading opportunity here if the players recognize that. Demos are fine, and Cav Archers are finding a pretty good fight against the halb here on the water. Both players lose their castles. What's the main tech advantage Celts have on water versus Malians? I mean, they do get shipwright. Is that what you're talking about? They don't get fast fire ships. I guess they get galleon as well. I wasn't intent. That was a misclick into the top corner of the minimap is how I initially went away from this fight. I was actually just trying to click something like near the minimap. So that was a completely accidental look at the neutral docks. But I was so surprised to see it that it distracted me for a moment. Ram putting in massive value here. Camels will snipe the trebuchets behind, but we're losing a lot of camels to do this. Castle has been denied up here. It's a lot of bombard cannons. Theoretically, should do okay against the scorpions. They are beefier than your average. But should still be alright. We do have a cannon galleon here. If you can micro well enough, the cannon galleon should do very well against the scorpions as well, right? Alright. This is good until all of these SO get to the fight. Gebetto being annoying on this castle again is really nice for Maxi. Ah, jeez. Just outside the range. Bombard cannons wanted to snipe the castle. They're going to have to back away from the Halb, though. Farimba Light Cav is not a great meat shield in front of this stuff for the Halb, but, you know, it's better than nothing, I guess. Maxi is sniping the SO pretty nicely. These two Halb are being very annoying, though. And I guess Pl0tter lost at... I missed... Oh boy, look at this. I missed Pl0tterGh0st losing the Santa boat, but I think it went down. Fishing ships as well for Maxi. Okay, so we've got fishing ships in the middle. Nice. We're giving our villagers some exercise here on the gold. I'm not sure Maxi even realized there was a gold out here. I think these are just vills that we're trying to take from here and have migrated. Random ram push on the side here does kill a couple of buildings, but I don't know how much value that is. Yeah, the Maxi micro on the bombard cannons have been pretty good. At least. Cannon Galleon is getting soloed by this Woad Raider. That's unfortunate. And this should not be a good fight for Maxi. Surely. Okay. Does micro around. It's tough with strongholds, right? To even just trying to dive under them to snipe siege and stuff. The strongholds attack so quickly it sometimes doesn't feel worth it. Castle does go down though. Scorpions are dying, Woad Raiders are dying. This is not going to happen. Pl0tter wisely deletes that foundation before the cannonballs arrive. It's only 63 villagers for Maxi behind this though, which might end up being the end of things. He has expanded down here nicely. But 63 villagers is just not enough at this stage. It has not even really taken damage, right? He's only lost 9 villagers, so it's... Again, trade-off with micro, right? He's having to micro cav archers, he's having to micro bombard cannons. Something falls by the wayside in these moments, and it's been the eco for Maxi. This Treb... It would be so easy to kill. I cannot stress enough how easy that Treb would be to kill. But Maxi is full focus on this push. Surely knows at this stage that he's super far behind on eco. So he has to do damage. And, I mean, does a good job of backing away from the SO, but every moment that Maxi has to retreat is really good for Pl0tter with the eco difference. Pl0tter has a relic as well behind this. The eco is great. The balance is extraordinary for Pl0tter, really. Even has a relic up here. Has not been able to kill this main army. The castle goes down for Maxi, unfortunately, to the solo trebuchet. And cav archers need to micro. Need to micro. It's alright, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Bombard cannon goes down, that's a little sloppy. Oh, another bombard cannon might go down? No. Saved. Another TC for Maxi, alright. We're settling in for the long haul. I like this by Pl0tter getting back onto water and is going for the trade cogs. Let's go. Finally, someone noticed. We've got the trade underway. Massive. Pl0tter does have 5,500 gold, so I don't know if he needs this per se. Curious to see how much gold you get off of that. Oh, maybe it won't tell me. Capture Age is blind to trade cogs, right? I forgot about that. Woads roll in. The Cav Archers were a little bit too separated from the Bombard Cannon, so all the Bombard Cannons, except for... no, all of them go down. That is crushing. Maxi does finally notice his Trebuchet. How much gold? I'm gonna eyeball it. That was a lot, was it not? That felt like a lot of gold. I actually was not able to eyeball that at all. Galleys, oh good god. Galleys in the middle for Maxi is not good for the Malians. They don't get Bracer, which is really bad. Not what you want to see. I think Maxi's just cooked, right? No, the fishing ship goes down. Huge loss on Maxi's economy. We've also got a Panda Rock here. I'd like to see more of these. Boom. Crashes out. And I think Maxi's dead here. If you can't tell, I'm pretty sure Maxi's dead here. I guess it's not as much gold as I thought it was. It's like 60, it looks like, about, per trip. I'm surprised. I guess they go... yeah, I guess I'm not. Unironically, Pl0tter could trade with this guy and get a really good trade line going, right? He's got pretty much full control of the water now. The final fishing ship has fallen for Maxi. He's got 27 Cav Archers and a Dream. That's it. 60 is quite a lot, I guess. I thought maybe it was going to be like something better. I don't know. I had a dream of just an astronomical trade line going for Pl0tter. What can I say? Pl0tter might need to delete some villagers here if he's going to go into the trade carts. You probably don't need 35 villagers on gold with the 26 trade cogs, rather. Sorry. It doesn't really matter. He's going to roll in here with 11 trebuchets and just start one-tapping Maxi castles, but another singular treb in the north as well. The bane of Maxi's existence is the one treb in the north that he can't notice. The hut goes down. We have one more charge out here with the Cav Archers. I think it's now or never for Maxi. There aren't too many woads here, to be fair, because Pl0tter has so much eco on the map. I mean, these are good trades for Maxi. Unfortunately, he's losing his entire base behind this. But the KD is going to... I mean, look at the KD for Maxi. He's 2-1 right now over Pl0tter. And he's dead at the same time. Shorter trade lines are better in 1v1s? You mean like... Is that true? Huh. I thought it worked out mathematically in such a way that longer was always better. Maxi's lost everything, by the way. And Pl0tter is going to win the set. It is a play all 5, so we're not done with Maxi and Pl0tterGh0st shenanigans just yet, but Pl0tter does win the set, so no reverse sweep dream here for Maxi after all, but could still get a couple important points on the board. Every point matters. I don't know what the standing is for Division 9. I haven't looked in a little while, but a couple points could be the difference between relegation and not. So, I'll see. Right. If you okay, so safer trade. Safer trade is better trade. I see what you're saying. Yeah. That makes sense. To be fair, Plotter is castling all over the place here. I don't think this is super unsafe for him, but I understand what you're saying. All right. They're already in the next game, so let's not... Maxi really doing the reverse draft here. He has, fully, right? He picked the Bulgarians first, then the Catans, and then the Malians, so he's going to play the Tatars next. Surely. Plotter taking a more regular approach to his civs, I would say. That was a hyper-random win, and... Pl0tterGh0st goes up 3-0. So we're going to move on to Runestones. So, Runestones could be the Ethiopian map, if Maxi wants to use them. I actually wouldn't mind Berbers here. Tatars isn't terrible on Akare, but neither are the Berbers. So he can kind of do whatever he wants, I think. And then Japanese here maybe for Plotter. I don't think Japanese should be an Akare civ, but maybe we don't even pick the Japanese. I don't know. Let's find out. Well, I unfortunately was correct in my initial guess for Maxi. He's doing the reverse draft. I appreciate the dedication. Welcome in. Game 4, maxymczech versus Pl0tterGh0st. We are here on Runestones. It is the Tatars for Maxi, and it is going to be the Teutons for Plotter. That makes sense. I think the Teutons are a fairly good civ here, but honestly, against the Tatars, it's probably really good. The only answer Tatars really have against Teuton SO is trebuchets, which is not usually super ideal. But, alright. Opening Hussar, not finding too much value there for either player. Nice compact base here for Plotter. Maxi is not going yet for the super far away marketplace. So, alright. A little bit more of a compact base here for Maxi. Obviously, it's going to be Cav Archers. This is the best Cav Archer civ Maxi has played so far by a pretty hefty margin. So, you always have to be a little careful. Nice snipe there. First villager down, and there is a few more. Pretty far away from the TC here if Max is able to pay attention. There's number 2. There's 2 more over here. One escapes, but I don't know where this lady was going. She was going the wrong way around the castle. Not the time for... Look, the micro, though. Wait a minute. Absolutely insane. Loses 2 villagers on the front. But this girl has some moves. I take it all back. I was about to blast her for taking the scenic tour around the castle, but she just wanted to show off her dance moves. It's fine. Both players are severely housed right now, as Maxi goes for a fan of houses around the back. She's still dancing. Avoids the Cav Archers for a second time, but Plotter is losing villagers on the front again. It's 5-0 Eco KD in Maxi's favor, and he's not done yet. There's another one, 6-0. Absolutely tremendous work. Did our hero die? I averted my eyes briefly. He dies. I don't think that was her, though. Who's this? Is this her? Did she come across, or is this a different villager that was dancing? 4 HP hero. There we go. All right. Another villager dies. We're up to 9 losses here for Pl0tterGh0st. But we have Paladin on the field. They are very strong Paladin. Paladin has worked fairly well against Maxi so far in this set. So let's see if we can get some reversal damage here. As Pl0tterGh0st will finally get these castles finished. And can maybe settle into a bit more of a regular game. Teutonic Knights will destroy the Halb. So that's something. Castle on a hill in the middle for Maxi. We like to see that. Paladin running through the Halb. It does look like they should be able to get through here, but that's just the hill being weird. Teutons are C tier, if we're honest. I mean, I guess Treadmill Crane is just that important, right? They should be good. They really should be good, but they just take so much damage early on. And despite being a mainly cavalry civilization, they don't really have super good mobility, I guess. So the type of maps they are good on is kind of limited. Archery ranges for Maxi. A lot of archery ranges. So definitely wants to get that Cav Archer number up. Did he only open with 2? Wow. Amazing. Actually, really good job. I think Maxi has almost perfected the Cav Archer play. I think it's getting pretty close to where he can still open Cav Archers every game, but actually the balance is there to maybe not die immediately afterwards. Big fight. The Halbs aren't really in this fight, which is not good. The Keshiks shouldn't win against the Paladin, really. More villagers going down, though. The Cav Archers say, forget this fight, we just want to kill Vills. It's another 4 villagers dead. 13-3 Eco KD. Not a great fight, though. Oh my god. Another 4 villagers going down for Pl0tterGh0st up here, and a TC denied. Just cannot be where he needs to be to protect his eco. The Scorpions are super slow. I mean, the Paladin are super slow compared to the Cav Archers even. So, kind of tough. Flaming Camels! Let's go! Maxi does not disappoint. Going Flaming Camel against the Teuton Paladin actually should not be too bad. They get a lot of bonus damage against elephants, but I think they get a lot of cavalry. Yeah. It's not quite as much as elephants, but 70 damage is a lot of damage. So a couple camels, I guess it takes 3 camels to kill a Teuton Paladin. If my math is right, but still. They can die for the siege as well. I actually think it's a really good option here. Maybe a couple more siege workshops, though. Castle falls behind for Pl0tterGh0st, but trebuchets will fall as Pl0tterGh0st is pushing out here. Camel's not really landing super well so far, but we keep trying. It's fine. They're going to get a huge boom one of these times. Maybe. Maybe. Paladin are mostly dried up. Cav Archers are mostly still alive. Camels still cannot get in on the Scorpions, though. Is Maxi just going to commit here? I think he can win this fight with the raw Cav Archer numbers he's got, but man, that's scary. I guess a couple Keshiks in front go a long way. Maxi not too far behind on eco this game either, thanks to all the Vills he's killed. So this is definitely the best position Maxi has been in, with maybe the exception of a few brief minutes in game 1. Camels on the Scorpions. I'll take it. I will take it. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Military numbers overwhelming for Maxi. There are a lot of Teuton castles in the eco here. So does need trebuchets to come out. The Crenellation castles really have a very wide berth of range, so you can't really... You don't want to run through here to raid, right? You could maybe run around the back. All the castles are at the front, but I think Maxie's probably okay just chilling out here with a big military. As long as he can get trebuchets out, which he is, should be fine. He's got more camels in the back as well. Maxie flexing with a win. I'm not going to jinx him by saying he's won yet, but it is looking pretty good. And if you can win going Flaming Camels, then... I mean, look at these Giga Chads. They're going through houses, everything. They actually do a lot of damage to these houses, actually. Is there building bonus damage on these guys? Yeah, there is. They do 300 damage to buildings. Interesting. Wonder if there's any viability using them like petards. Probably not, right? 300 isn't that much damage when you're looking at important sniping buildings. There's a lot of trebuchets. The military is no longer in front for Maxi, though. He's still got a decent amount of cav archers. More camels run through. Yep, Trebs can also just dome these Scorpions. I don't mind that. If you're able to actually micro them in such a way that it's working for you, then that's great. A lot of Scorpions going down to the Trebs, actually. Castle falls twice. Pl0tter unable to replace that. TC goes down. This castle should fall pretty soon. Paladin roll in, but they roll into the Flaming Camels. It's still not as impressive as I was hoping it was going to be against the Paladin. I guess it is Teuton Paladin. And obviously, like I said, they're not as good against cavalry as elephants, but... I don't know. Maxi is still behind economically a tiny bit. Not much, though. And Pl0tter is going to start to lose more castles. If these castles fall at the front, it's basically over. Because then all the cavalry can just run through, right? And what can the Teutons do? Flaming Camels sniping SO. TC also getting sniped by these long-range trebuchets. Pl0tter trying to repair castles, but can't repair forever. A massive Civ win. It's not massive, but you like Tatars more? Okay. Okay, fair enough. Early on, it should be really good for the Tatars, right? But I think long-term, like, until gold runs out, I suppose, I would favor the Teutons, but maybe not. Depends on what position they're put in with the early rush. Camels on Halbs. I mean, I guess that's a bit of a boom. I do wish the Flaming Camels had slightly more viability against everything that's not an elephant. I think they're at a really good spot with their balance against the elephants. I do wish they would do a little bit more to everything else, but maybe they'd be overpowered in that case. I don't know. Pl0tterGh0st selling out to try and keep this castle up. Knows all of this eco is done for if the castle falls, but there's not that much stone in the bank for Pl0tter. He's going to burn through that real fast, repairing with almost 20 villagers here. And he just can't snipe these Trebs, man. Castle falls. 13 military on the field is all for Pl0tterGh0st. Make it 9, 8, 7... 6, 5. Maxi has 83, which is a lot of military. Panic castle for Pl0tterGh0st. Maxi notices this. Might lose some Trebs behind. I don't even know if he does, though. It's a massacre. It's an absolute massacre. The castle will complete, but Pl0tter is going to lose a lot of villagers. And the Trebs are still alive. I'm not sure how long that castle will remain for anyway. Pl0tter thinking about expansion, or at least was at some point, but I think he's just dead. I don't know how he clears up 70 Tatar Cav archers at this point. I guess you have to... It has to be SO, right? And you just have to hope and pray that you get a good shot. I don't think that's very likely, but I think that's probably as good as a hope as you're going to get at this point for the Teutons. Like I said, the Tatars don't have good answers to SO. They have to hope they can micro the trebuchets well enough, but... And then obviously, like, snipe with Cav and whatnot, but... the Flaming Camel edition was so good for Maxi, as the GG is called, because that was one unit. Good luck next. Was this the last game? Did I miss a game in the middle? Maxi, what game did I miss? I missed one. GG's. Maybe I missed the first game. I was pretty late getting onto the set, so maybe I missed the first one. I missed one. No, I didn't miss the first one, because we saw Serengeti, right? I missed Akure. Darn, I missed Akure. Pl0tter Smurf confirmed. True, actually. Hold on, let me hold on a minute. Hold on. We'll watch Akure. We'll watch Akure. Wait a minute. Let me get it here. Wait a minute. Well, given that I missed it, I'm not going to, I'm going to assume it's not going to be a super long one. But we're gonna watch Akure. Otter, what are you doing, man? You're banning my viewers, Otter. Come on. On the train, jeez. I've literally never banned anyone on my channel in my life, so I have no idea how to unban someone. By the way. So Maxi might just be dead forever. All right, we got to get into the final game here. let's see before Maxi spoils. I guess he can now. All right, this is the game that we missed. So the players were not going. Maxi was not going in reverse. Oh, capturing with a villager. Interesting. Maxi was not going in reverse draft order after all. I just missed the game where he went Ethiopians. He didn't even play Berbers, his top pick. All right. We're here on Akure. It is the Japanese for Pl0tterGh0st. It is the Ethiopians for maxymczech. Is not going CA with the Ethiopians. Important to note. Is going full Shotel right now. Some camels mixed in. This is full Shotel. So the players swapped accounts. Pl0tter is going for the Cav Archers with the Japanese. Maxi is going for Shotels. Maxi is going for Shotels. He's housed despite the double castle because he has so many Shotels. This should, I mean, Shotels against Samurai is, maybe with the exception of Karambit's, the worst Civ matchup I can possibly think of in this game. I think. I can't imagine that's going to end well for the Shotels, so it's a double Civ counter pick for Pl0tter. Not only does he counter Cav Archers with the Japanese Cav Archers, he also super counters these Shotels with the Samurai. Yeah. I'm starting to realize why we missed this game. I'm beginning to realize why maybe we missed this game, and it might not be a super long one here, guys. Samurai cleaving through the Shotels. Cav Archers will do quite well against the Shotels as well, I think. So even without them, might not have mattered. Really good eco behind this for Pl0tter, by the way. He's expanding to the wood line already with TCs in the back. Maxi is 2 TCs all in right now. Samurai will also do very well against the camels. So it's kind of the one... It's fully countering everything Maxi's making. He is now making the Cav Archers, but Ethiopian Cav Archers are terrible compared to Japanese Cav Archers. They don't get Parthian, they don't get Bloodlines, and obviously the Japanese Cav Archers have additional bonus damage, so... Yeah. This is where CA probably makes more sense. Yeah. Unironically, yeah, against the Samurai, it's probably as good as you're gonna... Well, I mean, straight up Ethiopian Arbalest is probably better, to be honest, but it is what it is. Maxi's dead. Pl0tter just needs... Oh, the transport ship. We've seen this a couple times in this tournament so far. Players not realizing this is actually walkable terrain these days. So you don't need the transport ship, but I like it. We've got Samurai just hacking away at castles here. And Maxi ends up being a 4-1 in favor of Pl0tterGh0st. It is welcome in Pl0tterGh0st. Yeah, this is walkable in this version specifically. It has not been walkable in the past. So I too was unaware the first time. But yeah, you don't need this anymore. True. Why you can't walk through this though, right? Look at how gross this water is. Much better to get in the ship and sail across so your nice boots don't get mucky. Samurai ROP, it's true. Especially, it turns out, against Shotels and camels. Alright. There we go. We saw the whole set now. There we go.